everybody, and welcome to another Joker's Wild Side. I am Lobo,
I'm Jax.
and today in our Wild Side Corner, we are a little light on news. There's nothing too crazy going on, especially with this bye week on before the Super Bowl and Pro Bowl weekend. There's not much news going around, but
One very important thing, we want to first have a moment of silence for Carl Weathers, who passed away at age 76. Apparently, he had passed away peacefully into the night, or in his sleep.
Yeah.
So we will take a moment of silence.
Okay. Well, that did suck, as we found out this morning.
Definitely not the best news that you want to just...
Yeah, exactly. It is, like he says, bad news, but it did seem like he went peacefully in his home. I mean, he was a great actor. He was Apollo in Rocky. He was
Chubbs in Billy Madison.
Yep. He's probably gonna go fight the crocodile now for sure. Or
I'm pretty
alligator.
sure Grief Karga in Mandalorian.
Yes, but he was also in the old Star Wars. He was oh fuck, I can't remember his name. The name that he had. Lando.
Was he
Yep.
Lando?
I think so. He was Lando. He was also Harvey Dent in the 80s Batman movies.
Grief Karga. I don't think that he was.
He wasn't Lando?
No.
It might have been someone else then. It was. Nope, it wasn't.
Donald Glover.
No.
And Billy D. Williams.
Yeah, he's the one that played Lando.
Or Mort Goldman.
Yeah.
No, Billy D. Williams.
Yep. But he will be really missed, as he was such a great actor. But besides that, how have you been, bro?
Doing all right. Yourself?
A little stressful day, I'm not gonna lie. Stressful day at work. Not gonna go too much into the details. It was just a lot of new people, and
Oh, trust me, I know it's a lot of new people.
yeah, it was very stressful today. But glad it's over. Let's get into it now. This reminder for you guys: Super Bowl next weekend, Sunday, February 11th. February 11th. The Super Bowl from Kansas City Chiefs versus the 49ers in Vegas. We'll be streaming here live. It'll be myself, Jax, and maybe
One or two others.
surprises. Yeah.
Depends on who wants to come and bum it with us.
Yes, for real. But that should be fun. We'll have food, obviously, and you could come join us. React to the game. Hopefully, it's a pretty good game.
I could see it playing both ways, but we're not going to get too far
It's
into
gonna
it.
be a bye game.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get murdered online for that one. It's okay. And there goes the light again. But I think the 49ers are still favored slightly. I do have a little fear on this one. They are saying that the Chiefs this year in the playoffs is the top 5 defense of all time in the playoffs. So I'm kind of nervous on that one. San Francisco by 2 points still. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, 49ers still favored. I just hope there's an entertainment game. There's been a few Super Bowls lately that have been very lackluster.
Yeah, I mean, Super Bowl, not to say that it's supposed to be something special because it's essentially kind of just another game, but
and that's how the pros say it.
It's
just another game.
It should just be another game, but it's a very important other game.
Yeah, I mean, it's for the title. But regardless, we're not going to make our picks yet. We're going to leave that for Monday and Friday of next week. We'll talk a little bit more about that. And we'll also have injuries going into the Super Bowl. So be excited to see. I'm just excited for the live stream. I enjoy live streaming a lot.
Oh yeah, it's something that I wish we could do a lot more.
Yeah. 100% agree.
Yeah.
Watching wrestling, watching this championship game. This will be our first non-wrestling live stream, which I'm excited.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everything else has been wrestling, and we're gonna try to get more championship games specifically. It's harder for the other sports because they are a series, so it's the best of 7 series for the most part.
Yeah.
So you have to get it when one team is about 1 game away from winning, pretty much. When we're gonna start doing that, but we do have the Pro Bowl today. Sorry, not today. This weekend, the NFC coached by Eli Manning versus the AFC coached by his brother Peyton Manning. I did not go over their who is on each roster, but it's pretty much the best of the best.
It's gonna be a little bit of flag football.
Yeah, it's gonna be some flag football. Eli won last year with a little bit of a weird call, but who do you want to make a pick, or you just hope it's good?
I hope it's just something worthwhile to watch.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily add anything.
Yeah, I mean lately the Pro Bowls and the All-Star games, we're gonna get into that a little more here. All have kind of fallen to the wayside. They haven't had as important or as exciting anymore.
Yeah,
and it's kind of sad. Which I hope they bring it back up because it is very enjoyable to watch, at least if it's done right. So
definitely.
I'm always rooting for the AFC because that's where my Raiders are from. But I really just hope it's very entertaining. Sorry. Well, with that, there's more news. With Seattle has hired Mike Mcdonald, formerly Ravens defensive coordinator, as their new head coach. We talked about him in the honors. He was definitely someone that kept that defense running hot throughout the year, and it seems like Seattle was interested heavily enough to hire him on. Also, Washington has hired Dan Quinn, former Cowboys defensive coordinator, as their new head coach as well. See 2 defensive coordinators being picked up here, trying to. I don't know if they're trying to buff up their defense or get someone defensive minded on there to run the show.
Well, if anything from the season, everybody kind of was playing defense, majoritively.
Yes, exactly.
And it wasn't until these playoffs that we actually started getting a good just boost of offense. And it almost seems like teams were holding their offensive sides.
Yeah, I mean, it was a weird year for offense. There were some that were really hot, like Miami dropped 70 on Denver, and then there was a week where Raiders dropped 60 something on the Chargers. So it was hit and miss with the offense. It's just it looked like the defense ran this year for sure.
And as I don't remember exactly who said it, old quarterback, basically had said that 2023's offense was mediocre.
Oh, that was Tom Brady.
Tom
Brady said that the offenses throughout the year were mediocre, and I do not disagree, in all honesty.
They could have played not necessarily a lot better because you have to think, defense is playing so freaking hot that you have to try and combat it. So was defense being so good that offense was being crap, or was offense crap for the essence of being crap?
No, I think you had it right first. The defense was much better, at least to deal with this new age offense and the rules that are meant more for offensive this year, or as that's been coming up. So I think the defenses have adjusted and now are playing so they don't mind giving up the yards, but they do not give up the points. I think that's where it's been focused more on that defense side. Like bend don't break, pretty much.
Yeah.
So big news now.
For you.
For me, of course, for me. I always gonna be just a little biased to my Raiders, but I also am honest when I need to be honest. The Raiders have hired former Cardinals head coach Kilff Kingsbury as their new offensive coordinator. I'm excited, tentatively excited.
Even with how the Cardinals played this year.
No. He wasn't the head
Oh,
coach
okay, before.
before.
All right.
This
I
year-
redact those
Yeah,
statement.
he was released from the Cardinals last year. But before that, he was a offensive coordinator somewhere else. I cannot remember where. But he was a playoff contender.
Kingsbury?
Kingsbury. He is known as an offensive a guru pretty much. So can this bump up the Raiders where they need to be? Yep. Raiders. Let's see what he has.
Early live college career, Texas Tech
I
College,
think that's where he played. He has coaching.
Arizona Cardinals.
Before
Before that was Texas
Texas Tech.
A&M. So Texas Tech. So
Mhm.
he went from college, USC,
Oh, USC. There you go.
and then Arizona Cardinals.
What was he in USC? Offensive coordinator, right, as well?
And offensive coordinator December 18th in January 2019. Or
Okay.
December 2018 and then January 2019. So,
Cool. So yeah, he is known to be a very offensively minded.
focused on offensive strategy.
Okay. So definitely could be a very big improvement, but like I said, I am happy, but also very tentative as we are yet to see what he can do offensively on the NFL besides his head coaching job. The thing is, what's up, Clay? How we doing? The thing with Kingsbury though, and the thing with head coaches, no matter if you're offensive or defensive head coach, usually, just talking about the Pro Bowl and the new hires, really.
So, where you were getting kicked up was he was interviewing with the New York Jets.
Yes. No. Well, yes, that too. But really, what I'm worried about is he had an okay showing with Arizona, especially the first few years. But Kingsbury, as a head coach, you run stuff differently. You can't focus on one side of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of have to run the whole. It's kind of like a manager at work.
Yeah.
You do not deal specifically with things that are happening out there how you want things. You plan it, obviously. But you really deal with the drama, the BS, the
You
extra
can't
stuff.
orchestrate every little detail.
Exactly.
It's not utopia.
Mm-hmm. You really deal with the bullshit, the drama, and all the extra stuff. And I think that's part of the head coaching job. So I want to see what he could bring offensively. And I hope he brings it up because the Raiders, they did not. There was a lot of games where they felt flat offensively. So I'm hoping this pumps him up.
Yeah, Raiders definitely they have the weapons, kind of what they need to be very good offensively.
Yeah,
They just don't have the organization.
That and they didn't have, for some reason, they just didn't play enough for the their coach before the interim one that just got hired on. The problem with that is the Raiders have the Chiefs, who are in the Super Bowl again in their division. They have the Broncos, who, although they played better towards the end of the year, they still have a legendary head coach and a Super Bowl winning head coach. Then we got the Chargers there as well, who just got the Michigan's head coach, national champion head coach, Harbaugh. So that division is just going to be impossible, and it's going to be the hardest division again going forward. And I don't.
It's a best of luck scenario.
It's pretty much they're feeding you to the wolves. Anyway, you look at it from the Raiders, from the Broncos, and from the Chargers. It's going to be tough regardless. The Chiefs will be the Chiefs, as we saw this year in the playoffs. During the season, obviously, they struggled. I mean, the Raiders beat them. Not saying we suck.
But they fought for their position to get to the playoffs.
Yes.
And it seems like it was minimal effort up to that point.
Yeah.
And now They're going ham.
Yeah, they have one of the top best defenses in the playoffs in the history of the NFL. So how can you say that the Chiefs will not be the Chiefs?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. It's just no matter what we do, it seems like our backs are against the wall here in this division. So I'm still rooting for them, but it's just very tough. Moving on to another team that we talked about the Chargers, but now the LA Rams have promoted their linebacker coach, Chris Shula, to defensive coordinator. So they're just hired from within.
Mm-hmm.
I think he'll be fine. They have a good linebacker core. Not sure too much about his influence previously to the team, but now he's gonna run the defense. So obviously they saw something in him.
Best of luck to him.
Yeah, and to the Rams, they're gonna need it next year, especially 49ers win the Super Bowl. But that's till next week. We'll talk about that more next week. Now moving on to the NBA, Let's Go Niners. I agree, Clay. In the NBA, the deadline for trades, I think, already passed, or it's about to pass.
I believe you said February 6th or the February 8th
okay, so,
for a deadline pass for NBA.
Okay, so it's about to end here next week. But a big move has been done, or at least sent to the offices to be approved. The Grizzlies, it was approved. Grizzlies send Steven Adams to Houston for Victor Oladipo and 3 second-round picks.
That's a lot of words that I barely understand.
So,
but I kind of get trading.
Yeah, so they traded player for player, but Houston also gave up 3 second-round draft picks. They're the picks that they get from college players. So they
Gotcha.
Try to improve. To me, this is just me personally. Steven Adams is an okay to a decent player. I think that is too high for him, especially the draft picks. I think maybe 1 and another later round pick would have been fine.
Mm.
But 3 second-round picks, that's way too high personally. But I'm also not running the trades. I'm not that genius, but
they might see something in him, man.
I mean, I guess apparently they gave up a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't have done that trade, but that's why I'm sitting back here behind the camera, behind this desk, and talking smack. Because I don't know what I'm talking about right now, but I just personally think it's a little steep. But when you need someone, right?
Oh, yeah.
Also, with the NBA All-Star Game happening here in a week or so, 2 weeks, 2 days.
It'll be a Sunday.
So in 2 weeks, right? Yep.
Yeah.
We're actually going to do, right now, our top 10 teams in the half of the NBA season so far. You want to run through your top 10 real quick?
Yeah. I'll just do a quick run through. I'm going to just go 1 through 10, not 10 through 1.
Okay.
So I actually have... Oh my gosh, I was getting a little dyslexic there. I got Boston Celtics for my number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Timberwolves for 2. Clippers for 3. Oklahoma City Thunder for 4.
Mm-hmm.
Knicks for 5. Nuggets for 6. Yeah, I think.
Denver?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I just have my numbers mixed up because I screwed up on writing things and forgot to include the Clippers.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Bucks for 7. Cavaliers for 8. 76ers for 9. And Sacramento Kings for 10. And a lot of this was just based off of generalized stats. Some of it was based off of, like, I moved up who did I move up?
The Suns?
I kicked out the Suns and bumped up the Kings, and I moved the Clippers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I kicked up the Clippers.
Okay.
Due to their 9-game win streak and score gaps.
Gotcha. I mean, that makes sense. For me, I have Boston at 1, Minnesota Timberwolves at 2, At 3, I have LA Clippers. So I bumped them above Oklahoma City and above Denver. At 4, I have Denver. 5, I have Milwaukee. At 6, I have Oklahoma City Thunder. Yes, record wise, they are third or fourth best there.
Mm-hmm.
But their performance lately has been definitely bringing them down.
I believe 3-game lose streak.
Yeah, yeah. So that's why I had to pull them back, and I think they're 6-4 in their last 10. So they're still winning more, but they're not as. At least the last couple of weeks, they haven't shown much. At 7, I have Cleveland, that I moved above New York Knicks, as I feel like they've been showing more the last couple of weeks as well, like I said. At 8, I have the Knicks, that I just mentioned. At 9, I have the 76ers, who have been showing more and more to me, specifically.
Mm-hmm.
And then number 10, technically, they're about a game apart. But Phoenix has been really hot, so I put him above Sacramento at number 10. So those are our top 10. Let us know if you agree or disagree in the comments. And tell us what your top 10 NBA teams at the midway point of the season is. But yeah, let us know in the comments. Also, now moving on to baseball. It looks like the Baltimore Orioles have been sold. So no rumors or anything has been said about if they're moving or what they're going to change or anything.
Just the ownership has now changed hands.
Yes. Let me go into this a little bit. I know that part of the owners group that bought him as a former Major League Baseball player that played for the Orioles, that actually was one of their biggest players of all time. I think he's their biggest player of all time. Give me a second while I find him.
Well, in other baseball news, we're still waiting to hear back on our personal Utah team taking possession of the of either the A's or founding their own new Major League Baseball team. We'll see how it goes. As it sits, the A's still are looking to capitalize on the new Daybreak Stadium that will be opening hopefully in 2025. I can't say that I've seen any construction on where their location is.
Neither have I.
Okay, the A's have already been purchased by Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, so it's just going to be the training stadium until everything gets sorted out there.
So what I heard their Lord Atomic is that that the stadium in Vegas will not be ready. So I think while they finish up that stadium, they will be playing in Salt Lake. That's the rumor.
Okay.
Nothing has been confirmed yet. I think they're gonna wait till the last possible moment to confirm that.
Yeah, okay, and he agrees to that, so.
Yeah. By the way, in that Orioles buyout that they had, the Baltimore Orioles, it's Cal Ripken Jr. supposedly is part of that organization, that group that bought the Orioles.
See, I'm not even big into baseball, and that name rings bells.
Yeah, he is a big name for them, and he is beloved in Baltimore because of what he did for them with that baseball team. So I don't think they're going to move him, one, and I don't think they're going to change much of anything. Maybe a revamp of the logo or the stadium. But congratulations to them. Baltimore Orioles definitely need an upgrade for sure. Moving on to some NHL news. There are still rumors that Utah Jazz owner is in talks to bring an NHL franchise to Salt Lake, which I will love personally.
You'll be able to see a few of your teams like the Golden Knights,
the Kings. I want to see the Ducks. I would like to see the Flyers out here. To be honest, I want to see good hockey and some good fights.
You don't want to just watch the Grizzlies go and fight our local teams?
No.
I don't blame you.
I would go to a Grizzly game because I like hockey. But
Yeah, it's not some you would be more enticed for larger, bigger names.
of course, and not to mention the impact is harder. The fights are great. And have you ever been to a pro hockey game?
No.
Oof, man. I mean, I'm pretty sure the Grizzly gets pretty wild too, but I enjoy hockey a lot, especially live. It sounds the echo it makes when they slam against each other. Ah, love it. Um,
Big old meat slaps, buddy. Big old meat slaps.
meat on meat violence.
Mm-hmm.
That sounded so wrong. uh, but also the NHL's having their All-Star game this weekend. They're having some kind of like the Pro Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
They're having some skills challenges going on right now. So, with that being said, we're also doing the same thing we did with the NBA. We're gonna choose our top 10 NHL teams so far midway through the season. This time I'll go first, and then you'll piggyback off of that. Okay. So I'm actually going 10-1.
Okay.
I just like going backwards. That's my thing. At 10, I have the Winnipeg Jets. They're technically much higher record-wise, but recently have been falling back, at least on their performance. At number 9, I have the Carolina Hurricane. At 8, New York Rangers. At 7, I bumped them up a lot because the last 10 games, they're 10-0.
Oh dang. Okay.
They're undefeated the last 10 games. They are with the rookie sensation on there. They have been running through everybody. So at number 7, I have the Edmonton Oilers.
Okay.
They are looking like a killer team right now. At number 6, I have Florida Panthers, last year's runner-up, as they fell to the Las Vegas Golden Knights last year. At number 5, I have the winner of that Stanley Cup last year, the Las Vegas Golden Knights. Seems like they're falling a little behind from what they had last year, but there's still a lot of season left. At 4, I have Dallas Stars, who has shown a lot of improvement from last year, where they fell to the Golden Knights in the conference championship. At number 3, I have Colorado. This is no surprise to nobody. Everybody thought Colorado was going to be one of the top teams, and I went to a preseason game this year when I went out to Colorado with the family and the wedding. Very fun game. They went against the Minnesota Wild, if I remember correctly. Very fun game. Very enjoyable. At number 2, I have the Vancouver Canucks. And number 1, the best team from last year as well, Boston Bruins. I mean, they're still kicking ass, so I can't do anything than win that one.
Well, my list isn't too far off. We have mostly the same names, different orders. For the most part, I have most of the names, and I just went through the list. Went off of statistics. It was more rushed and less thought than the basketball's top 10. But going 10-1, I have the Hurricanes, Rangers, Golden Knights, Stars, and then Jets. And I moved the Oilers all the way up to number 5 on a 16-game win streak. So you did mention that they're on their last 10 games has been 10-0. A little bit of an amendment. They have 6 additional from that.
Yeah.
So I moved them up a lot. And I'm happy to announce finally a Panthers in top 4. That's probably the last time I'm nailing that one home.
Dude, it's a different freaking league, and you still have to go back.
I gotta nail it home, right? Panthers were booty cheeks, and
to be lightly, yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus, bro.
So, yeah, Panthers for my number 4. Number 3, I have Avalanche.
Colorado.
Yep. Number 2, I also have the Canucks. And number 1, I have the Bruins, as the Bruins have the same amount of wins, but less losses. So they have actually played less games and have equal amount of wins to what the Canucks actually have.
Yeah. Sorry, got food in my mouth.
Yeah, I'm like one of those servers that just pop up at the most inconvenient time.
Fuck you. But yeah, those are our top 10 NHL teams midway through the season. Tell us if you agree, what you disagree with, what you agree with, or tell us your top 10 on the comments as well. Moving on from that, a little reminder before we sign off from the sports section. Oh, excuse me. Damn, you rushed me through that. Remember to join us next Sunday, February 11th. Is it next Sunday? Yeah.
Yes, next Sunday.
Yes, we're going to live stream the Super Bowl of the Kansas City Chiefs versus the 49ers.
And game will start 4:30 p.m. for us, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah. That'll be for us. I think on the Pacific it'll be 3:30.
Yep.
On the East Coast it'll be
6:30.
6:30. So join us then. We'll keep reminding you during the week. Don't worry about that. Moving on to pro wrestling. We have, the top three are kind of combined with each other. With the allegations coming on to Vince McMahon, to John Laurinaitis, and also involved in that, a few other names. One which is Brock Lesnar, supposedly.
I was actually surprised to see this name.
Yeah.
I haven't read too much into it because they're dealing with what they need to deal with, and it's nothing that needs to be regurgitated from us.
Everybody's talking about it. If you look at any wrestling news, that pops up a lot. We're not gonna mention what the accusations are.
Just that it's happening.
Yeah. But with that being said, WWE has removed, or is trying in the process of removing, Vince McMahon from all their content. And this is also supposedly coming to the same way to Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
And I think they just want to get away from it. As there was also a mention that The Rock is also pulling himself away from Vince McMahon.
The biggest verbiage that I saw was erased. They are erasing Brock Lesnar. That's what I read. For anybody that is holding any Vince McMahon or Brock Lesnar older gear, I can guarantee you your collection just got
very good. But with that being said, WWE is also having about 90% to 99% of Brock's merch that they have on sale. I'm not saying that's 99% off. I'm saying most of what they have from him is on sale.
Majority of what is on sale is on discount.
Yeah.
If you guys are looking into collecting and economics and all that, I would definitely purchase now and hold on. 15 years, you might have double, triple the amount.
100%.
So just be smart with it if you're considering.
Definitely. Also with Brock Lesnar, it was announced that he was supposed to be in the Royal Rumble, as we talked about before. When these allegations came to light, he was immediately pulled, and it said that any future plans with him has been scrapped. And also with that, he has also been taken off the roster for WWE 2K game.
I'm curious if they're actually going to push out updates for the previous 2K WWE games and just completely remove Brock Lesnar or any verbiage of him. I would be surprised if they did. Like just complete removal of him and all of his names and stuff like that. Especially for older titles, like way older titles. As long as they're receiving updates, that is.
Well, if you got a hard copy of any of them, it's going to be impossible.
Yeah.
But, like me, I have one of the 2K games, like, on the system.
Yeah.
That might be possible. But I also don't think they have been doing any updates since they started the new project, so...
We'll see. But most definitely, Brock has been removed from any future projects.
Yes.
Essentially, you can consider Vince McMahon and Brock Lesnar as Damatio Memori, or basically erased from history in terms of WWE.
The thing with that is, so much of the history has both of them involved. Since 2002, Brock till now, pretty much Brock Lesnar's been involved heavily. Since the mid-'80s till really recently, Vince McMahon has been involved heavily. So I'm guessing around 40 to 50% of their content will be scrapped.
Yeah, I'm curious on what they're going to do for previous replay clips.
Mm-hmm.
If they're going to just like blur out,
I
or
think,
just like delete the clip, or not necessarily delete the clip,
mm-hmm.
but with AI technology, they're able to do that in an instant. They just have to source what Brock Lesnar looks like, generally his pants, and then AI can basically just spot him out and then blur him out. It would just be really weird if they did that move, and it's kind of,
the thing is, I'd rather see that happen than getting blurred out than them taking the footage out, because so much content, so much history of WWE will be taken out. As Vince McMahon has won a Royal Rumble. Vince McMahon has won a few World Heavyweight Championships. Vince McMahon, with everything that Stone Cold Steve Austin pretty much was in the beginning. Vince McMahon with the Brett Scoot Brett thing. That's his first turn. Vince McMahon with DX. Vince McMahon with Triple H. Vince McMahon with the other. I mean, you could go on and on and on. And then Brock Lesnar, title after title after title after title.
So does that mean that Cody's story isn't resolved?
Like that's a whole
That's just me joking, but
I know that's just a whole nother thing.
But
we'll just wait and see what happens with that. But,
yeah, very curious. I would dislike to see footage just completely removed. It would make sense why they would, but it would be a preferred indifferent.
Yeah, definitely. But now moving on to some positive news. Naomi, who just returned to WWE in the Royal Rumble.
Man, did she return with a splash.
Yes, she lasted a long ass time, almost to the end. From the beginning, almost to the end.
An hour and 3 minutes, I believe, and some odd seconds.
Yes, yeah. She had the record for about 3 minutes till Bayley won, and then she beat that record. But now,
how does this help Kobe's legacy?
Kobe's? No, we're talking about wrestling, not basketball. Jesus Christ. Fucking Clay. We're going to have to learn you on some wrestling, man. Definitely. But Naomi, now that she's back to WWE, she's immediately being put into SmackDown, as she has appeared or was scheduled to appear in tonight's SmackDown. This is very big news. This is very good news. It seems like they might push her right off the bat. So excited to see what's up with that. But also on SmackDown, 2 NXT stars have been called up. One was she was in the Royal Rumble as well, as Tiffany Stratton is one that has been called out from NXT, and Elektra Lopez. Tiffany Stratton, as I did in one of my predictions, that I had a feeling because of the way she tried to save herself and was eliminated, with her holding on to Bianca Belair's hair, pulling it and trying to stay alive. It looks like they're going to put them in a feud here going forward.
I want to be against pulling her hair. Just putting that out there.
Yum. Anyways, and Elektra Lopez looks like she's going to join her former stablemate and the stable El Legado del Fantasma. And
yeah, I couldn't say
that. say Andrade Idolo.
You almost couldn't say it.
I know.
Andrade the Idol. Happy?
Perfect. But she's looking to feud with Selena Vega and Latino World Order. So this is putting some more feuds out there right before Elimination Chamber and WrestleMania. Looks interesting to see what Bianca and Tiffany might do. I'm excited for that. Also announced for tonight is a few big names coming to SmackDown, as it was announced that The Rock, CM Punk, and Cody Rhodes were all backstage in SmackDown.
And we already had clips of The Rock's peeking his head out.
Yep, him getting psyched up for the show. So he's probably gonna pop out and say something, do something on SmackDown. With that said, it was announced this week also that for WrestleMania 40, it said that the start time has been pulled to be sooner,
Okay, that'll be nice.
It will be nice. I need to check if I have the day off. I don't know. Oh, it's still in April, so we still have a few months. So I haven't put it off yet. But I will.
Easter lands on weekend.
Wrong. Eastern. I forgot. I forgot a letter. Yeah. But it will be starting. The pre-show will be starting at 5 p.m. Eastern. It will be 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time.
That means that we're ending the show at like 10:30, 11 o'clock, depending on how things go.
Which I think that'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, last time we did Wrestlemania, I wasn't home until 1:20, 1:40.
Dude, we were exhausted. And
oh,
it was
yeah.
2 days. So,
way to go.
Sorry about that. But I think it's going to be 2 days here for WrestleMania. So if they can make it sooner, that is perfect. For me, I believe it'll be great. Now, a little bit more bad news coming out from former WWE superstar Marty Jannetty. Was told by doctors that he may need to amputate his leg, as he had some issues with circulation and stuff like that, maybe previous injuries. It's sad to see, as he was a great tag team competitor, former Intercontinental Champion as well. But that also might be, it's 2 days. Saturday, April 6th, and Sunday, April 7th for WrestleMania 40. So, yeah. I'm going to have to take both of those days kind of half off or something.
I may have those days off.
Yeah, especially what we talked about yesterday. Yep. Yeah. But, yeah, it's just sad news to hear that Marty Jannetty may have to lose one of his legs. It also might be of his lifestyle that he had for a long time. He was a partier. So,
that's definitely a term.
Yeah. So, sorry to hear that, Marty, but it's part of life. Sometimes you lose shit. Yeah. Have some work. I'm fucked up. Also, some weird news that came out here. WWE star Solo Sikoa deleted his X account, or Twitter for those that know it as Twitter. He mentioned the reason for it is that social media is so hostile, even between like celebrities and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean,
it's just a battleground and a breeding ground for toxicity, and there's a lot more verbiage that I want to use, but I'm not going to use because it's just adding to the problem. I mean, we can have debates on here and make this the new battleground for social medias if we tried so hard. I fully support in Solo Sikoa in deleting X. It will be sad not to see, not necessarily some of the drama, but the pokes and prods that they can get after each other. Like, if you ever look at Roman Reigns' X account, he will sit there and be like, oh yeah, this person did whatever, call out Cody Rhodes on this. Mm-hmm. It can be pretty comical at times. But I completely understand. And I think that a lot of today's society is plagued by social media. That is my spiel.
100% agree. Fuck it. There's a lot of fucking people that just talk shit to talk shit. There's a lot of people who just hate to hate. And there's a lot of toxicity, as you mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
I really want to go off more. And there's a lot of hypocrites. There we go. Moving on. But we do agree with what Solo's doing. Sometimes you just need to get away from all this BS. So, I get it. Before we go into entertainment, let's go into our worst moments of wrestling last few weeks.
How we just talked about toxicity and complaining and whatever.
We're going to talk about this shit some more.
Let's get into our complaining about the stupid crap happening in WWE.
Yeah. And it's not, it's not really complaint. Yeah, a little bit.
It's an entire segment on shit that we don't like.
Yeah. Yeah, but also when we talk about this, it's not trying to say to shit or to cancel people or whatever.
Oh, no.
Trying to get them to improve. That's
yes,
all that
in that aspect, completely different ballgame.
Yeah. You want to go first?
Yeah, so I'm going to just kick it off with a little bit of the Logan Paul fight that we witnessed at, I don't even remember the name of the event.
Royal Rumble.
Royal Rumble. Man, it was. I went off on a big spiel of it last Monday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Today's Friday.
Mm-hmm.
But essentially, I feel like Logan Paul definitely could have won the fight without interference. And there was still an attempt to cause interference, and then turned around and now, what's his name?
Kevin Owens?
Kevin Owens is now in the spotlight of being like, oh, you're disqualified because you had a weapon, when that wasn't the case. I understand the incentive for why they did that. It doesn't mean that I enjoyed it. That is mostly what I have just for my first little bit. What's your...
So I'm gonna piggyback off of yours a little bit. I do agree with that. As the ending, I understood it, but it was wonky. The match was decent before that. I'm not gonna say it was crap because it wasn't. It was
No,
decent.
it was definitely better than the fight that I will be talking about later.
I know which one you're talking about. It's just the ending was wonky. It makes sense, but it also doesn't for what the history of the refs were before that. So, point blank, that's all. Mine is also in that same event, and it's not really that it was. I mean, it was bad. There was a lot of happy feeding and waiting for something to happen, for, especially on the women's Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were trying to do a move on each other or waiting to attack, and they were. I don't know if it was bad timing, bad communication, but it was a lot of as we call it in the business, happy feeding, where you're trying to do something but you hesitate. There was a lot of that, and as much as I love this performer, especially her look and the way she acts, the way she's all in, Miss Dupree, she did have a few botches in that match, and I do have to point that out as she's still very green, very new to it apparently, but it could have been better. That part could have been better, maybe a little more practice than that. But like I said, those are just my nitpicking, mostly in the women's Royal Rumble. Also, anything Nia Jax.
Yeah, no, we're not going to get into Nia Jax. I wanted to try to avoid that name as much as possible.
I know you were trying to cut me off real quick. Nah, I had to throw that in there.
I will agree. I'm gonna just piggyback now off of you.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely felt like the pacing was off on the women's Royal Rumble. As you said, there was just a lot of stalling.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like they didn't plan enough for what was going to happen, and there was just so much happening that they all just got confused and were like, I don't know what I'm doing. Let's just do something. But let me get into my next one, which is the Universal World Champion defending title.
The Fatal 4-Way.
The Fatal 4-Way. There were several parts of it that were bugging, but there were also several parts that were out of control. And by out of control, I don't mean haywire or wild. I just mean that they had a plan, the plan got broken, and there was no recovery. There was still the intended outcome, but you had problems with Randy Orton being hurt, and I feel like that it kind of killed the event by like 3 to 5 minutes minimum. And then, but that's not in the control. The biggest thing that I have is Roman Reigns did nothing in the event to show that he deserved to hold Universal Champ. The biggest thing is, and also had immunity to it, was interference, and it was a non-DQ interference. The biggest thing I have a problem with it is why wasn't there more interference from several other fighters? It was just Solo Sikoa defending Roman Reigns, and Solo Sikoa was there for his on-screen time was probably 45 to 90 seconds.
let's say 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes.
Yeah. And all he did was run into a barricade and scare people, and he did twice the amount that Roman Reigns
Yeah.
did.
I think it's also, this is elevated more, as we talked about this before. Roman Reigns not defending his title so often, and people being tired of the bloodline storyline now. I think most likely here in WrestleMania or soon after, he will lose his title. He will go away for a bit and come back a little more refreshed, and I think that'll bring freshness to the story again.
Yeah, I'm not against seeing Roman Reigns fight. The problem is I want to see Roman Reigns fight.
And he did it in this match.
He doesn't fight. That's the issue.
Mm-hmm.
But when he does fight, it's a pretty good show, especially when there's no interference. He's a good fighter.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good athlete.
Yeah, definitely.
Show that more.
That would be great. And they haven't lately, so.
Yeah.
Agree with you. Before we move on to the entertainment, I just want to throw in one person, make it a little positive, finish up right. Something good with wrestling. R-Truth, man. Anything he does is fucking hilarious.
Oh, he definitely brought up a point for me in the Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
He just did so well to raise the energy there. If it wasn't for R-Truth and Pat McAfee,
yes,
it would have been a dead show.
Yeah, I mean that second one too, Pat McAfee, was funny as hell too. Surprised to get in it, went in and said, "Hell no, I'm not fighting these monsters," and bounced out. Funny moments. They do a lot with the little screen time they have, and it's perfect. Now, let's move on to entertainment. I'll leave it to you, sir.
So yeah, a little bit of entertainment, not too much. We have Skull and Bones. They're doing a free beta February 8th. I will definitely be playing and live streaming over on my other channel.
Mm-hmm.
What is my other channel's name?
I don't know, it's your channel.
Toupestar Gaming. TAUPESTAR space gaming. I will be doing a live stream on that when it drops February 8th. That is a Thursday. I will most likely be streaming for 10 plus hours depending on how the game plays. I'm hoping the game is good, and this free beta allows me to kind of make my decision of if this game is even close to the ballpark of $70 worth it.
Yeah.
As it sits right now, just with the content and the availability of what we have, I'm looking at this game as a $35 to $45 game with a $70 price tag.
It's a little high. I'm also, ever since you showed me this, I've been interested in the game. Like you said, I do need to upgrade my system. But depending on what you think on this beta test is what I will be planning in the future as well.
And depends on how long the beta test runs, because I'd be fine bringing it over here and we game it out. I feel like that'd be fun.
I'll be down for that.
But I'm definitely going to be putting in a very critical review on Skull and Bones. And I will take into consideration this is the beta, but it is also 8 days before game releases. So I'm still going to be very critical on the game. I'm not expecting all content to be available for Skull and Bones. Just probably up to like I don't exactly understand the leveling system, but I'm going to guess up to level 3 to 5, where you're able to at least upgrade your ship a little bit, get kind
expand
of
your crew.
Yeah, expand your crew, get a pirate fleet going, and by a fleet I mean you and 2 other friends, because they only set capacity to 3 people. To me, horrible decision, but we'll see how that goes. Apparently, people don't have more than 2 friends nowadays. Let's move on to something you sent over.
Yes. I was excited about this because I saw the first movie and I loved it. And then I sent you this and you kind of didn't remember what it was till we actually put it up.
Yeah.
Netflix dropped the Code 8 2 trailer today. And the official release will be in 26 days, February 28th, which I'm very excited. I know you were a little disappointed on the naming, but
Part 2, I mean, don't get me wrong, part 2 is just fine. But I wasn't expecting it to be just so cut and run. Rolling it back, Lord Atomic, I'm hoping that if you're open for it, we can definitely play. I want you and my pirate crew, hopefully with my brother as well, Sudhir.
Sudhir.
Yeah, let's see how it goes. I don't have any good hopes on it being too good. I watched the full 13-minute breakdown, and this is just to touch on it for just a second. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of too promising things on it. The biggest things that I would expect to see from it is special events. I'm hoping that we get a higher end Sea of Thieves, basically. And by that, I mean like a legitimate storyline to follow. Right now, it kind of just seems like it's a open world, go do whatever you want to do.
A little bit of GTA style.
Yeah, but GTA actually has story elements. This just has become the best pirate you possibly can. I'm not wanting to hang on that too much. One thing I've really been hanging on to since we couldn't see it anymore after December 16th, I think it was the last episode. Yeah. Or no, it was before that. It was like November. It was before Thanksgiving. It was like, yeah.
It's been a while. It's kind of bugging me, but I'm excited for this as well. You sent this to me as I was at work today. Invincible Season 2, Episode 5, right? Yeah, Episode 5. It's set to premiere March 14th. I am very excited, and then we're going to continue to review here.
Oh yeah, so I know the text message I had with you was that 8 p.m. Eastern, so it will be 6 p.m. our time that we will be able to watch this on March 14th. And the episodes are going to stretch out. The last episode should be released April 4th. I'm pretty excited for that. We can definitely wrap up the storyline. I definitely think that it was kind of like a sideline of how the story was going, and I like how the not director, author, the people who make and put out the show, yes, the creators, they pushed out a statement where they said, we wanted this to be something meaningful, and to have it stick to you. So that is the whole reason why they delayed it. They didn't want people talking about Invincible during the family time. So Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, and it looks like they're even avoiding Valentine's Day.
And the Super Bowl.
And the Super Bowl as well. They want people to watch their show, not watch everything else. You look at other companies, all of their release dates are around this time. Yeah. I think it also kind of weighs into what we're expecting to see in here. They avoided family time.
It's going to be brutal.
It's going to be brutal, and it's going to be dealing with family matters, I believe.
The show?
I'm fully expecting.
No, the show Family Matters.
You know, I am fully expecting Invincible's mom to die, honestly. And you've read the comics, you know everything that happens. I'm in the dark. I've never read the comics. I only can speculate and imagine.
Put it this way. Invincible, the whole comic series, is extremely dark.
Oh yeah.
Extremely dark.
They don't pull punches, especially in the animation, from what I've seen. So I can only imagine what the comics is like.
I mean, the art style is made to be. Yes, it is one of my favorite shows still. Even though there's a lot of breaks and stuff, it is an amazing show. But even though the art style is very 90s,
Toon mix,
stereotypical hero show, the darkness in it brings in the possibility of that reality that if you had, like, for instance, season 1, when the first episode ended and when the season ended, you thought to yourself, if I had these powers, I might do this shit.
Yeah, it kind of puts in speculation, kind of like what The Boys does
Oh,
also.
yeah.
And we'll have to get more information on when that next season drops. I haven't heard anything official or read anything official, but I'm hoping for another Boys season. I heard something soon.
I have not finished this last season, so I'll probably catch up, and maybe we could do a review of the whole show so far, if you're down.
Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, also let us know in the comment, you guys, what other shows you want us to watch and review. For instance, I'm watching Bodies on Netflix, based on a novel, I believe. You should watch that show, Bodies. Very good.
Yeah, you were trying to sell me on it earlier.
Very interesting. I'm also watching the other show. It is on Netflix. That just popped off. Let me see if I could bring it up real quick.
I know Lord Atomic was trying to push Terminal List for me.
The Terminalist. Hold on. Is that with Tom Cruise? No.
I'm not 100% sure.
The Brother's Son. That one's new on Netflix. That one you should watch, as I'm watching now. It looks very good.
Well, The Boys Season 5 is confirmed by showrunner, but that was back last year around this time. So...
Oh, the show.
They're
Terminalist.
probably still filming for The Boys Season 5, or waiting to push it out. Or maybe it's that freaking spicy... Chris Pratt isn't.
Yes, I just saw. I'm like, which one? I know I've heard it. Yeah, that show is based on books from a writer from here in Utah.
Oh, nice! I didn't know that.
Yes, he was a former military man. I don't want to say Marines, but I think it was, or maybe Navy SEALs. But big time that turned his stories into James Bondish. With military, so it's very good. Haven't seen much of the show, but I heard it's amazing. So definitely want to watch that. What was the other show you were just talking about?
I was just saying The Boys Season 5 is confirmed, but nothing is official out.
Okay.
Terminal List. You were pushing me on some other shows.
Brother's Son.
Yes.
I seen the first episode only. Very good. Also on Netflix, Body. I think you will enjoy, but you might have a question on that. But yeah, those are a few shows that are good. We still got to finish watching Quarterback. There was another 2 shows that we want to watch, and then get reviews on all that.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of content coming up for you, but still, you guys, let us know in the comments any other shows, movies, or anything you want us to react or review.
Heck, we might even put out an Invincible's funny moment or something in hype for March 14th.
Hell yeah, let's do that. I'm down. But other than that, do you have anything?
Oh yes, Reacher is on our list.
No, I've seen it all.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
He's seen it all.
Fuck
I
yeah.
watched season 1, and we were kind of waiting for some things to fall in place before we did an official video on that.
Yeah. So we are planning to do also a review on that. All I gotta say for you there watching, love that show. But other than that, unless you have anything else you want to add,
That's all I got.
Yeah, that's all we got for you today. Reminder again, next Sunday we will be streaming the Super Bowl here with us. We'll be streaming us watching the Super Bowl. We won't be putting much of the footage because NFL cuts you down immediately.
Yeah.
So, but we'll be watching it here, maybe with a surprise or two. But join us again. That'll be February 11th for the Super Bowl. But other than that, remember, take everything we say as a grain of salt. We're 2 doofuses, 2 jokers that just like to talk about sports, wrestling, and some entertainment. If you get offended by anything or don't like what we got to say, move along. We do not need you. We do not, like Solo said about social media and all that. It is very toxic. You can move along. You do not have to watch us. You do not need to be around us.
Don't need to contribute to the echo chamber.
Yeah, thank you very much. Other than that, Remember to be grateful for what you have. Be grateful for the problems you don't have. Just look around in the world. It could be much worse. Other than that, I've been Lobo,
I've been Jax.
and this was Joker's Wild Side Corner.
See ya.